All right, let's get started. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so welcome to this quick masterclass on the heart healing in a box. This is kind of like therapy, do it yourself. I'm going to show you some really magical tricks to get the one person who triggers you the most to kind of change their behavior where they're no longer triggering you as much in a really easy way. You guys excited? Okay, so have you ever wondered, like, and this is all on the computer, hopefully you all can see it, but like, why am I manifesting drama in this particular one relationship or with this person, right? So like, why do I manifest drama? Why is it repetitive? And why is there conflict? Okay, anyone's got like something going on that's repetitive, cyclical, it seems to be happening a lot? And can is there a really quick short road out of it? Like, I know sometimes when we're triggered, it feels humongous. Like, oh, is there really a way where I can get rid of this really easily? Do you guys ever wonder that? Because there is a really easy, fast way, just so you know. Okay, so heart healing in a box, how to get them to change without talking to them. So I know that when we're triggered, sometimes we feel like we cannot get across to them. Can you guys think of anyone like that where you're like, if I say anything, it's gonna get worse. So you just don't say anything at all, or you have told them a million times and it still doesn't change their ways of being and you still get triggered. Anyone try to talk to that person and nothing changed? And would you want to be able to change what's going on without talking to them? Awesome. Okay. Yes, yes. So this is Tamara. Tamara had amazing results instantly. She used the tool that I'm going to show you today. She started with me a couple of years ago. She had amazing results instantly. She pulled my blockages out at lightning speed, freeing my mind and body to open the business that was waiting just inside me. It was incredible to see it form without a ton of work on my part. It just became. Now my business keeps creating itself. So this is a testimonial about business, but it's the same thing when it comes to changing your relationships. And I'll have more testimonials and stories about relationships as well coming up. Okay. All right. Why do I have this here? I can't remember why I put those testimonials up, but you guys know who I am. Everybody on the call know. I guess you can read those over super quick. And okay, this is Joanna's. Okay, so Joanna has an amazing story. So when she came to me, she was like, oh my goodness, my husband triggers me because I do all the work, he doesn't even work. And she had been supporting him and the whole family for years. And when we cleared on him being the way he is, and like the fact that she was upset about it, he ended up getting a really quick $5,000 weekend gig as a photographer. And then he had a repetitive gig after that. He's been working so much like with ease now that she has to ask him to stop working so she can spend weekends with him. So as soon as she changed what she felt, he got busy getting a job. All the nagging didn't work, asking him to go get a job didn't work. She like nothing worked until she cleared it in her. Do you guys have bells ringing yet? Nothing she did to tell him to changed his behavior, only changing it in herself ended up manifesting a different outcome. And I'm glad Mailing's on the call because Mailing had also shifts with her ex-husband, with the father of her child, right? So I think he used to be really in a particular way, and then he's starting to shift and be a lot more like generous as far as money goes and for their son, right? So you'll have to update me on that, Mailing. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover today. You're going to learn some valuable tools to help transform some of your most meaningful relationships really quickly, especially the ones that really trigger you. The best reaction to have when you feel triggered so you do get the results you want. And how to identify the one master belief you're seeking to be right about when it comes to this one person. So, and by the way, can you guys hear me okay, or do I break up? If my voice breaks up, let me know. I will switch my internet Wi-Fi reception. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. And you're not losing me in any way. Okay, let me check out the chat room. Of course, yes, okay. You guys hear me? Okay. All right, let me go back to this. Okay, how to identify, okay, so the one master belief, I'm gonna help you with that today. We're gonna figure that one out. Hopefully today, if not over the next few days, you'll be able to do it. And if you stay till the end today, hopefully you can, you're gonna be on my list to get my cord cutting meditation, which helps you kind of feel if like what you're feeling is your stuff or someone else's stuff. Right? You could feel sadness or anger or anxiety, and it could just be someone you have a cord to that's sending you their stuff. So I wanted to give to you guys that when, for everyone who's kind of able to stay. So today, like the whole presentation today, the masterclass is for you. If you're already spiritual, you've done work on yourself, you've been trying to kind of wake up, you do live a life that's kind of honest, heart-centered, and that's really important to you. You know what you give out, you get back, and you're sensitive, like you're sensitive to energies and to people around you kind of approving of you. Anybody here can relate to that? Like you all feel like that's you? All right. Of course, people in my tribe would hopefully relate to this. So you still have drama in one relationship or more that really, really drains you. You've tried many things to probably fix it, or you just don't know what else to do. Like the drama in that relationship can be so triggering that you actually completely lose access to your intuition. So you would actually feel like flabbergasted, like I don't know what to do about this, right? So it doesn't matter if you've been meditating for 30 years, if you're here, or you're just starting out, like you're going to still learn something really valuable to help you with them. Okay. And it's also, I want to say, it's not your fault at all if you've tried everything and it's still, you have drama with this one person, because the stuff I'm going to give you today, nobody's probably ever presented it to you. And there's a lot of confusing information out there about how to do this. Okay. So we're going to wake up from pain. Okay. So pain is actually here to help us wake up, and we're going to wake up sort of from it. So it doesn't have to keep happening. So nothing is more important to me than to be awake and to stay awake. Anybody else can relate to that? Like waking up is my number one priority, right? And awake from what? So sorry, I'm going a little fast. Awake from a feeling, so like an emotion or a thought that keeps perpetrating and creating more of the same drama with the same person. So that's what I want to wake up from. Do you guys want to wake up from that too? Like the actual emotion and thought that keeps creating more and more drama with the same person that you love. Like maybe this is someone you're really close to and you want to have a life with them, but they trigger you so much that you have to keep stepping away. Anybody's got something like that? I'm hearing, duh, we wouldn't be here today. No, maybe. Okay. So if I remain stuck on a person hurting me without ever clearing what they resonate in me, the chances of it happening again are 100%. Did you guys know that? So if I'm stuck on them, like, because you know when we get triggered by somebody, we replay the same drama in our head. Do you guys do that where you're like constantly rethinking it, refeeling it? And so the likelihood of it happening again is 100%. Okay, that's insanity, right? So not knowing how to wake up from this nightmare is truly hell on earth. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story super quick as well, on how I came to really understand this. But if I can wake up, right, realize I'm creating the nightmare by thinking it into being, and thus can delete it and create it and unplug from it now, right? Am I going too fast? You guys are with me? Okay. So I'm going to go super quick into this. You may have seen this already. I met up with a woman in my village a couple, like last week, I think it was, and she has a clothing store. And when I walked in, her energy was really dense and heavy. Like, do you guys know when you walk by somebody and you can feel that they're kind of like not doing so well? And she told me that she had been really, really ill, like, and energetically sick since December. And it just felt really violent for her. And she'd been really kind of crazy with it. So I read her energy just as I was talking to her. I read her stuff and I felt like she was fighting a man in her life. She was really angry at a man. And she started to get really sick. Her back was hurting. She had physical symptoms. So she said, yes, the man is my son. He's 20 years old and I'm raising him by myself. And she is like, I don't know what to do. I want him to move out. It's so bad and so toxic at home. I can't do it anymore. Like, I don't know what to do. And it makes her feel really bad because she doesn't want to be that kind of person, you know? So can you guys relate to feeling toxic emotions, energies towards someone you live with or work with nonstop and you can't avoid them and you just feel really, really toxic inside you, right? Or like negative. And I can see your comments. You guys, if you want to leave comments, I can read them. Yeah. Okay. And welcome. If other people joined us, welcome you guys. Hi, everybody. Okay. So here's the thing. This is the one thing you guys want to really remember from today is that it's happening. It's not happening by accident, right? It's not by accident, and it's actually happening to help you guys and help me and help this woman. So I read her energy a bit more, and this is what I found out. She left the father of her kids. She actually has more than one child, and it wasn't enough for her to keep the pain away, right? Now she's reliving the same pain of like, men really trigger me, men aren't there for me, men don't respect me. She's reliving it with her child, right? And she, even if she's separated from her own father, the wound and the pain stayed with her in all her relationships with men. And if you're a man watching this, then just substitute for women, right? You may have a wound with your mother that you didn't deal with because nobody taught you how to do it. And so now you're just reliving it with your wife or your daughter or whoever, right? And so the truth is, you guys, so like if she were to go in and delete her beliefs about men, all the men in her life would actually shift and start to change, right? So like, okay, so I'm going to read this to you. The truth is, the minute she deletes her belief about men is the minute she will stop experiencing and seeing and attracting drama with her son and other men. So she's currently only seeing and living out the reality of her belief system. Yeah. So if you guys sometimes wonder, like, why isn't my life changing? Why are all my relationships with this one person like this? Or why are all my relationships with men or all my relationships with women like this? Why is this happening to me again? And if some of you have done a lot of spiritual, like personal development work, it's even like harder because you're like, well, are you kidding me? Like, what else do I need to do? Right? So, and this is really the truth. It's all happening to help you, and it's really, really happening to help you reach your ultimate goals in life, like the goals that you're starting to have for yourself. It's all there to help you. So can you guys remember that? It's happening to help me. Okay. And if you've never been able to resolve the relationship before and you've tried everything and failed and you were about to give up, like, know that it's not your fault. Okay. It's stuff that we should have been taught at school. And hopefully by the time we're 10, we should have learned this stuff, but like, you know, it wasn't taught to us. So I'm going to share it with you guys today, why it happens. You guys want to know? Okay. All right. So my goal from this masterclass is for you to remember that the only way to stop the other person from doing their recurring painful behavior is not to go talk to them when you're triggered, right? It's to actually retreat, to sit with the pain. So you're going to, like, when they really piss you off, you want to stay away from the phone. I know it's really, really hard. Stay away from talking to them. Stay away from confrontations. And you want to sit with your pain and hear the one belief that you're telling yourself about them. Like, oh my gosh, they never listen, or you just want to hear it out. Because that's the belief you're looking to be right about. And that's why it's manifesting with them. That's why the drama is happening, because you actually are asking it to happen by holding on to this belief. Okay, so I'm gonna dive into this. Don't worry. But does it all make sense so far? Can you guys give me a 44 if it makes sense on the chat room? And if you called in, I can get you the slideshow later. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jean-Pierre, Dana, and everyone who's here. So I personally had a lot of pain growing up. I had a lot, and I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, even if my dad didn't die when I was 10 in a car accident, even if my brother didn't die when I was 12, or even if my mother didn't have cancer and died when I was 18, even if all that hadn't happened, by the time I was 10 years old, I had a really heavy pain body. Like, if you saw pictures of me, I was like, I never smiled. I was so unhappy. So of course, before I discovered these tools, like, I tried everything to get rid of pain. I would overeat, I would purge, I would overwork, like 80 hours a week. I would run away from, I would run, physically run, and I would also like move every 6 months. I would overshop for stuff I didn't need. I would get involved with relationships I really didn't need, and I would travel a lot. I would keep my pain in, I would guard my heart, I would isolate, and I would absolutely try to love no one. So I'm just going to share a little bit of my story, you guys, because it's such a huge shift for me from where I was. And this is like, you know, this is early 20s to like mid 20s, in like a few years of like, you know, and my whole childhood. But anyway, so there was this moment, you guys, when I lived in Los Angeles, I had a studio in West Hollywood, and I had this like moment where I was like, oh my God, if you died today, like if something happened and you died, literally no one would have called me or checked up on me for like 10 days, right? Because I didn't have anyone, like I just would isolate in my studio. I mean, I would go out and walk and eat and do stuff, but I didn't have constant contact with any friends. I had no parents, and I didn't have a sister that I talked to anymore because we would fight. I didn't have a boyfriend. I was just alone, and I didn't have to work because I was kind of living out of some of my savings, trying to like heal myself. So I was like, I could literally die by myself in the studio and no one would know, right? That's how alone and hidden I lived at that time, because I was so like, I just felt like the whole world was just going to hurt me. So that's how I lived. This is going to get better, you guys. I have a happy ending. Please stay on the call. So this is what I did. I asked for love. I'm like, okay, I need to have a boyfriend, right? Which is the last thing I probably needed, but at the time, that's what I thought. So I drew a heart on a piece of paper, and I called in my soulmate, and he actually showed up in 2 weeks. I met him, and it was quite amazing. I remember he took me to this place he had. I think it was in Utah. I can't remember, Colorado, somewhere up there. This is a long time ago. And we meditated, we danced. It was perfect, right? Very romantic. And we go to France. I take him to hang out with my family in France. And even I remember in the relationship, like I still had a really heavy pain body. So do you guys have anyone in your life today, you know, that they're just heavy, like they're kind of, and you don't know what to do for them because they're just depressed and they're always kind of like down. Okay, so that was me, you guys. Okay, my boyfriend, the poor thing, he'd take me out to all these nice dinners and I was just down. Like my light wasn't on, right, you guys? So do you guys have anyone like that where you're like, or maybe you're like that, where you just feel heavy? Okay. And I'm going to explain what happened next because it was kind of a big wake up for me. Okay. And I'm going to show you how it all kind of started. So I took him to France, and when we come back from the trip, I go back to my place. He goes to his place, and I had a key to his place. I used to stay with him almost every night. And I had this dream the night we got back. I had this out of body experience. I had never had that before in my life. And in my dream, I like traveled to his apartment, and in my dream, I see him with another woman in our bed. And I wake up from the dream like super sad, right? Really, really sad. And I felt the same sadness and loss that I had felt when my father had passed on, right? So, and then I like wake up and I'm like, okay, it's fine. Go back to sleep. You have a beautiful boyfriend. You'll see him tomorrow, right? All right, you guys, I've never shared this live before. Your jaw is, I'm sure everybody's jaw is about to drop. So I go there, and it's one of those high sky riser apartments in West Hollywood in Los Angeles. So I have to sign in my name. There's like a security guard. And in 6 months of going to this guy's house, never ever did they have the sign-in sheet from the night before. It always was a brand new day, except for that day, the night before was there. And so my boyfriend's apartment number was there, and there was the name of some girl on there. So now I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Was my dream for real? Like, what is this, right? And he's not picking up his phone. It's like drama is about to go down. Okay, so of course, I get to his place and the girl's there. So my dream wasn't a dream. It was an actual, real out-of-body experience that I had. And I actually, for the first time in my life, saw something that was beyond this, like, you know, saw something where I wasn't actually there. So this is before, you guys, I did any angel work. This was before I did any channeling. This is before I learned, you know, this is before I traveled all over to teach about angels, okay? So I had started listening to Deepak Chopra and like reading books by Eckhart Tolle and Louise Hay, you know, so I had done some of that. So Okay, so this is it. I already said that. So I was like, you know, obviously in shock and in a lot of pain. We broke up. It was horrid. And I went back to being alone again in my apartment all by myself. And it was like, why am I back to square one? Why am I back alone again? And why did I get so incredibly hurt in my heart? Okay. So like, it was kind of like, it was like what, like I had been meditating for maybe 6 months or a year. I had really tried everything. And I was like, well, how come nothing's working? Like, how come I'm still hurt? How come I'm still feeling all this loss? Okay. Everybody okay? So I went on this quest, you guys, to like figure out what would it take to heal this pattern with my heart and guys and all of it. And why did I see this dream? Like I really wanted to know, like, why was I shown the truth about this guy who later on I found out had just promiscuous issues, like he just had issues with other women. So I was like, well, why, when I called in my soulmate, did I get that, you know, this particular kind of guy? So over the last 10 years, I've got answers to my questions, of course, and I've got to help a lot of people see it for themselves and resolve it for themselves. So like, remember Joanna's story at the beginning with her husband? She had a story and a belief about men and not being there for her and not supporting her. And so she manifested a husband who didn't support her until she cleared it. And now he financially supports her more, right? Do you guys see how it works, how it parallels? So personally, I ended up, you guys, I had a healing practice right away after, like within, I think 9 months, I was doing healing sessions on people because my gift woke up really quickly. I ended up recording meditation CDs. People on this call, some of you guys know me from that mailing. I wrote a ton of ebooks. I did retreats all over the place. I certified people to become healers. It was like an incredible thing that happened. And okay, so this is an important question. Could the fact that I felt the pain through the completion, you know, with the breakup with the boyfriend, healed my heart, right? It healed my heart and it got me to move out of isolation and into service. And it kind of also, now that I'm thinking about it, it was like I could, like when my father passed away from the car accident, I didn't have the tools to heal it, right? Because I was 10 years old. But when I re-experienced the same pain from the boyfriend, it helped me heal it because now I could access it. Does that make sense to you guys? So like if somebody today triggers you, they're probably helping you. Like I said, they're helping you heal something that you're carrying around you anyway. And if you heal it with that one person, then you don't have to re-experience it with other people after that. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Give me like a 55 on the comment, or if it makes sense, right? Awesome. Thank you, Liz. So I, after that, met my son's father. We met in a really magical way, and I got pregnant. We felt like we both felt like we needed to have this baby that was around us. We were both very intuitive, and we got pregnant on the first try. And I know a lot of people have a hard time getting pregnant. So it was like an immediate thing for us. And 7 years later, he's still one of my best friends, and we co-parent our child together. Oh, I have a picture. This is us in Hawaii when Hayden was really little. It was right after I led a retreat in Hawaii for 12 or 11 women. And Dan came and everybody else came with us. The whole family came. So it was awesome. And now he's in Dubai and we go visit him in Dubai, or he comes to see us here. And it's just awesome. So I also healed my relationship with my sister, you guys, which was really important to me. And we've been really close friends since I've healed my belief about my sister. So it's really, really worth it, because now our kids, she has a daughter who, by the way, her daughter was born on my birthday. Isn't that crazy? On March 24th. She had a baby on my birthday last year. Okay, so I had a beautiful fairy tale wedding with a beautiful man in the south of France in 2015, not my son's father, another beautiful man. And I really continue to have amazing relationships with men who are just very supportive and like faithful. And so I'm no longer attracting repetitive relationships with men who abandon and kind of have issues, right? I mean, I may still manifested, but it's more about me being there for them and supporting them than about my wound. You know, it's no longer hurting me. Okay. So here's why, no matter what you tried before, if it didn't work, it wasn't your fault. Okay. So it couldn't work unless you knew to sit down with the pain, do a very specific energy healing on it, and hear the one belief you were trying to be right about. Okay. So does that make sense? How if no one's ever told you, hey, when you're triggered by a person, you need to actually leave and go do this one specific thing. If no one ever kind of explained that to you, it's kind of hard to ever stop the drama from happening with anyone, even your child. Like I've recently discovered one belief I had with my child he was really good at redoing it over and over again until I cleared it. So we're going to get a little bit techie, like scientific for like 10 minutes. Is that okay, you guys? It's stuff I learned when I went to hypnotherapy school for a little bit. And then whatever I learned in my hypnotherapy school, I saw it in all the sessions I did and all the people I get to help every day. So you guys okay if we get a little bit techie? Okay. And this will explain how it works. And then we'll get into more fun stuff. And hopefully you all feel like, I want to actually, before we do this, I want to send everybody a lot of like vertical light. I'm going to help you kind of like, if you want to close your eyes with me and just fill up on light and love and put aside any distractions you may have. This is really for you. I wanted to give you some of my story to kind of bring you up to page. Like bring you up to page. Do we say that? Can we say that in English? But yeah, let's connect. Let's let a lot of love flow through you and light. And everybody feels really good right now, actually, everybody that's on the call. You all feel really happy and light. All right, so the brain, which is a magnificent machine, has the conscious part and the unconscious, right? And it creates beliefs and like meaning based on emotional experiences. So I'm going to explain this a little bit. So if you had an experience that had an emotion attached to it, like something kind of strong yesterday, it's going to keep feeding what's going to happen to you today. And if you never ever clear it, it will feed what happens to you tomorrow, right? It's kind of a cycle. So I had a belief men abandon women and cheat on women because that's unfortunately my father. And it was like that, somewhat, not really, but that was my projection. And so I attracted men who were like that. If I have a belief, I don't know how to make my family happy, or my family's never happy with me, then I'll attract a really unhappy child or an unhappy boyfriend or an unhappy husband, okay? So the belief we have yesterday will kind of create today and will create tomorrow. Okay, all right, let's get a little bit more techie here. So the memories, so the brain kind of will store things into two categories. It's going to store things that felt really, really good, and it's going to store things that really didn't feel good. So it's going to divide it into different categories. So it's going to have a file on people, a file on school, a file on women, a file on men. It's going to have a file on money and a file on health. And it's going to have all these different files so that later, when you're an adult, you'll just pick up those files and be those files, right, you guys? Does that all make sense? So, and the file is divided into, oh, look, all of these moments in our childhood with men, a bunch of really good stuff, and then a bunch of really not so good with men, right? Or like a file on self-esteem is in there, a file on self-confidence, you know, or, and then some people don't have files. Like I've worked on people who didn't have files on what love is, like true love, or they didn't have a file on what feeling accepted by their family felt like. That never got downloaded, right? So that's the whole other thing. But what I want you to just remember from this slide is just that the memories that get, the beliefs and the memories that have meaning, they're the ones who are emotionally charged, okay? And those are the deepest. So for example, if I have 10 really bad experiences with black dogs in my file and one really good one with the black dog, I'm going to be scared of black dogs more because I've had more negatives with the black dogs or whatever. It could be a red dog or, you know, any kind of file. Does that make sense? Any questions on that, you guys? So of course, if you saw your parents fight about money or you saw your parents fight around certain things, you may have decided, ooh, relationships aren't safe, or money isn't safe because people fight over it, okay? And, okay. Now in the present, what happens with the brain is it's so incredibly intelligent that it will go out and look for proof that a particular belief is true. Okay, so does that make sense, you guys? Yeah, you guys all know that. So the law of attraction, if you watch The Secret, and probably everybody's watched that movie, it says that we attract things that we feel a strong emotion for. Yeah, like if you want to attract a brand new red car, you have to be able to feel excited and grateful for it. Otherwise, if you don't feel anything, you're not going to attract it. So when you guys think about your one person, and does everybody has their one person that they can think of that triggers them, where they like kind of drive them a little crazy, or the one really triggering thing they do? You're very, very emotional about it, right? So you're emotional about it, and you have a thought about it, and you probably also have a vision of the last time the conflict happened. Anybody not have those three things? Raise your hand, you know. Yeah? Okay. So you have an image, like you think of the person, right? And then you have a thought, you have a strong emotion. It's the perfect recipe that they say we need to do, right? To create more of that. Like you're actually calling in that exact situation. Yeah? Anybody like feel like they're waking up a little bit more with that? Like, oh my gosh, if I stay feeling really strongly emotional about this one person who triggers me, and I don't release the feeling, then I am automatically going to create more of the same. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Breathe, you guys. I hope you're all breathing. This is tough to hear, right? So like, I remember when I'd get in such huge fights with my sister. It would blow up. And we wouldn't talk for like 6 months to a year. We'd like block each other on Facebook. You know how you can do that? You're like, I don't want you as my friend on Facebook. And of course, it was emotionally charged. We had thoughts about it, and we had a vision of the fight. So were we ever able to hang out without it blowing up? No, until I did all the work on it. And then we can. We've had a ton of vacations together, and long, long, long vacations together where nothing happened since. So it's been awesome. Okay. So a belief, a belief will have memories attached to it. So like, anybody want to share their belief with us? Anything like, I worked on somebody today whose belief was people want to take away my freedom. Like people don't let me live. They take away my freedom. So a belief has a memory, like it has an age, it has like actual proofs of it. And it has an emotion behind it. It could have like a fear of lacking control, safety, or approval. So you're going to create more and more of the same with that person tomorrow. Okay, you guys, so if you get into an argument with your wife or your husband or whoever, your kid 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago, if you don't stop to sit and feel and clear everything around this one belief, it's automatically going to happen again, if not tomorrow, next week. Okay, you guys? So the power is definitely in you, which is why like the whole workshop is about how to get them to change by not even needing to talk to them. Okay. So why are these little balls getting smaller and smaller as you move into the future? So it's increasingly harder to change tomorrow if you haven't cleared up the emotions and memories of what triggered you yesterday. Okay, you guys? So your impact and ability to change tomorrow's beliefs truly lies in feeling and clearing what happened 5 minutes ago or 5 days ago. You never ever have to go back to like childhood stuff too far, because whoever triggers you today is trying to help you heal it today. So when you heal it with the person today, like, so like, let's say somebody's here, well, I don't know if I should clear on my wife or my mother. I would say clear on your wife, because whatever your wife is doing is probably a mirror of whatever your mother did to you when you were a kid. You guys get me? So you don't have to sit here and go, well, should I release on a parent? I would release on whoever triggers you most today, that you hang out with the most, that you see the most, because they probably are just continuing to be that person for you. They're doing probably a really good job at it. Right? Okay, so this is just the cycle. I just wanted you guys to remember that. Okay, so you're set up, I'm set up, we're all set up to repeat more of the same until it's cleared up, unplugged, discharge. Cool, you guys? So I wish somebody had told me this, you know, before I called in my soulmate back when I was in LA, right? And then because if I had done what you guys could do with me today, then I wouldn't have attracted him. Or even better, I could have attracted him, but he wouldn't have ended up being a cheater. Okay, you guys, because you can actually turn somebody into cheating on you if you have a really strong belief that they will cheat. You'll actually manifest it. I'm not very proud to say I've actually tried this. I've dated guys who were like totally non-cheaters, never ever cheat on anybody. And they're like, I don't know why I did that to you, because I've never done that before. And it made no sense to them, but because I had such a strong belief that they would, and they did. Okay, you guys, so the power is really in you. You guys still love me, or do you hate me a little bit today? Okay, so what if I can wake up, realize I'm creating the nightmare by thinking it into being, and then I can stop, right? I can delete it, uncreate it, right? Because you're just using the law of attraction, you're just using it the wrong way, right? Okay, so let's say we're going to use something really common, like let's say one of the things you guys struggle with is you're just really not organized, or whatever else you guys struggle with. Anybody's got something that they really struggle with? Like I used to struggle with grocery shopping, or like cleaning the house, or being organized. So if you are really emotionally charged that you're not able to do this one thing, and there's a belief, plus you have lots of daily proofs like that, you know, I suck at this one thing, I'm really bad at this one thing, then could you ever get more organized in the future? Do you guys get what I'm asking? Like, so if you have proofs from the past that you sucked at this one thing, and today you still do, because you still do, could you ever change it in the future? You can't, right? You can't ever, it's like your brain isn't going to allow it to happen. It's not, right? Does that all make sense? So I used to think I was really bad at investing in the stock market. I don't know why I decided I sucked at that, because to me it was overwhelming. And then I changed my beliefs. I decided that I could be really good at it. I could pick really good stocks. I could have an intuition about it. I could learn from the best. And then I ended up being able to manage and attract stocks that would really move up really quickly. And which proved to me that if you change your belief, you can actually change your reality, among other things, right? So, and I'm an angel girl. Like, I'm not a stock math person, right? Like, I hang out with angels all day. So I still did it. And now I actually have somebody else manage my portfolio because I want to focus fully on my business. But for a few years, I was full on. It was quite fun. Okay. Are you guys surprised? Okay. So unless you feel the frustration to free it, you'd keep getting more of the same in the future. Okay. All right. Here we go. How can you stop it, right? How can you nip it in the bud? So here are your tools, you guys. You're going to want to give yourself permission to step away from the person. You're going to want to retreat to treat your heart. Okay. You're going to have to really extract yourself from the situation. As soon as it happened, as soon as you see that it's happening. Now, for some of you, you actually know it's going to happen. Like, you already know this person is going to be this way. So you're going to want to do this before you hang out with them. If there's conflict in the relationship, you're pissed off because, once again, you're right. Like, can you guys think of a conflict you had, and as it's happening, you're like, I freaking knew it. Like, I knew you were going to be this way. I knew it, right? They're not listening. They're not being helpful. They're disrespectful. It's like, oh, look, I'm right. They're trying to take away my freedom. So if that's what's going on in your head, you've got to step away from it, because right now you're no longer operating out of love, and you're no longer present. You're now in your story. Is that helpful, you guys? And like, nobody ever told us to do this, right? Anyone learn this in school or with your parents? I don't know. Definitely not me. So if you're right about something and it is emotionally charged up, as soon as you get emotional triggered, listen to the thought you're having. Yeah. So today I had a client, he had this huge epiphany because we did this on his wife, and he goes, oh my God, I get it now. I used to think she was trying to take away my freedom. So as soon as I believed it, I could never be present with her because I would overreact. I would immediately go into conflict with her. instead of just like talk to her, right? So do you see how these beliefs kind of create these glass walls or these filters, and we no longer see the other person for who they are, what they're trying to do. And then it creates a lot of chaos. So you want to write it down. When you guys hear your master belief, you want to write it down. So do you guys have any idea what yours is right now when you think about your one person? Anybody want to, is anyone courageous enough or open enough today to share what theirs might be? Do you need any help? And it's kind of like a mantra you almost say to yourself all day. I'm not going to make it. Nobody supports me. I'm all alone. It's like, and then you feel a feeling and you have images attached to it. It's like those three things, those three kind of recurring: feeling, belief, feeling, image, right? That my mom is lazy and never wants to work. Yeah. And so you're projecting it onto her all day, probably. Liz, ex-husband is just disrespectful to me. Yeah. So it's like in your brain, like every time you think of that person, you have the belief all around them. So when they come into your life, they are that very belief, right? Thank you, you guys. My stepson is lazy and unmotivated and won't accomplish much in life. Yeah. So remember, they are doing this to help you, right? Remember my crazy LA boyfriend who had lots of other women? Even though he asked me to marry him and actually pretty much proposed to my like pseudo father in France. So he was trying to help me to see my own belief, right? So you may not be able to like see everything today, but I'm going to help you in that direction, right? The wound belief. So the woman in my village, and let me know if at any point my internet goes bad, I'll go hook it up to the internet. But the wound belief that the woman is reliving and recreating is actually sadly now creating a wound in her child. So her 20-year-old child is now thinking, women are crazy. Women like really hurt me. Women, like he's going to have a belief about women now. So she's not able to be the parent she wants to be with her child. And probably like you guys, with your own belief, you're not able to be who you want to be with that person. Like you probably have crazy reactions to them that don't really, like even with your ex-husband, Liz, it's probably like, you're not able to have the outcome you want to have, right? Like when I used to believe a certain belief about my son, it would get worse. It would never get better. And like, it escalates because these people are probably people you can't get rid of. Like your mom, Dana, you can't get rid of her. Like your ex-husband, Liz, he probably is he the father of some of your kids. Like you can't get rid of these people and they stick to you. And so the only thing you can do to change the outcome is to change what's going on in your emotions and your energy, okay? Let's go back to this super quick. If you look at like, let's say this one person her brain has 18, if I did my math correctly, 18 not so good emotional oppositions, right? Let's say about men or women, and 5 good ones. So that's 18 strong emotional oppositions. You're still looking for proofs that you're right every day on automatic. And those people who are coming into your life, they're helping you find those so you can delete them and get rid of them. So you no longer attract them, you no longer attract sorry, I'm reading comments at the same time as I'm talking, so I get sidetracked. You no longer, so they're helping you find them and delete them so you no longer attract it in your future. Okay, you guys? So we have strong emotional oppositions to people telling me what to do. Like we could have strong emotional oppositions to even being a husband or being a wife. And I just witnessed this in my sister and her husband because they just got married. So they had been together for 4 years. And you guys have heard this before. And I know for some of you on the call, you're afraid of getting married because of this. And I have been a wife, so I know this happens. And I wish I knew this before I became a wife because I would have cleared it. But for some of us, if we have a bad file on wives and husbands, and you're a dude and you're a husband, you end up hating being a husband. You hate the title, you hate the label, especially in adult indigos today. Like if you're 35 to 45 or 25 to 45 and you're indigo, we really hate labels. So marriage for us is a really bad idea unless you've cleared on it. So my sister and her husband, he became a husband the last couple months, and their relationship has completely changed. Completely. She's like, I don't know who this guy is. I've been with him for 4 or 5 years. He's all of a sudden a different guy. And that's because he's become husband. So his entire file in his brain has changed. He's no longer just a guy with a hot girl. He's now a husband. And so in his head, a husband is what? His father. And his father is old and kind of fat and etc. Right? So he's become his father. And he's really depressed because he's like, I'm old, I'm bored, we're like an old couple now. I'm like, what's the difference? 2 months ago you weren't feeling this way. Why are you feeling this way now? So he's just in the label husband. So do you guys get me what I'm saying, right? So for example, I loved being a wife, and then I hated being a wife because to me a wife was like, you know, like the 1950s, like that's still my programming. So I have to clear that, right? Because I was like home cooking, cleaning. It's like, that's not me. I need a new model of what a wife is today. And until I do that, I'll never get married again, right? Until I clear my projection on what a wife is. Do you guys, is this helpful what I'm saying? So like if you resent being a stepmom, like maybe like being a stepmom, like maybe you had a horrible stepmom or you have a file on stepmom. And so you might be a stepmom today and you're like, ooh, I don't like it. And so you have a conflict with your stepchildren, okay? All right. So you guys, you can do some of it now. It's kind of fun. This is going to come out of your ego and your subconscious. This isn't going to come out of your heart because your heart is just going to say a lot of loving things. We're looking for whatever, so whatever your label is, being a wife is, being a husband is, or being a mom, or being a daughter if you're doing it on your mom, being an ex-wife is. Do you guys want to find out a couple of things? You just ask and let your brain tell you. I'll be quiet on mute if you want. Or to me, a wife is, or to me, a man is. You can kind of hear it. Okay, so I want to give you kind of also the option to do this on all kinds of things. So everybody has a different kind of situation here, but you could do it on working from home is, finding a new job is, going to visit my family is, having my family over is, dating is, getting married is, right? And whatever your brain spits out is your actual belief about it that you're going to look to be right about. So unless it's positive, you know, it's going to suck. So, and you know, you may have 10 positives and 30 negatives, right? So that's just Your brain is like your brain is kind of funny the way it works. Our brain is like, it's like looking for proofs. Do I keep this belief? Okay, yeah, I keep it because yeah, that's true that, you know, working from home is boring. Let's say if that's the belief. Or, oh yeah, investing in the stock market is risky. So, oh look, it is, see? And what's crazy, you guys, is the brain has the capacity to manifest realities. So it will go out of its way to manifest a reality on a subconscious, unconscious level that we don't even know it's doing it. So that's why you kind of want to go in there and know what's back there, right? Like, especially like holidays are coming up and a lot of people are visiting with family. And so, you know, you could be like, oh my gosh, family coming over is stressful, traveling is stressful. We're gonna, you know, and your whole script is already written about what it's gonna be like to have family come over, right? Like, don't you guys do that? You already know how it's gonna go. And so you're programming it into your future. Does that make sense? How we do that? And so I used to do that with my sister, and all the way there to her house in Switzerland, I would think, oh my God, we're gonna get in a fight. Watch, she's gonna be this way. And I would program it into my vacation at her house because I didn't know any better, right? And now what I do is I deprogram myself before I visit with her, and she's coming next week, so I'm going to keep clearing and any fears that she's coming, and so that they don't manifest. Does that make sense? How it works, and how you can do that for this one person? Okay. Any questions on that, you guys? Was this helpful? How it works? So like Jennifer's on the call today, and Jennifer and I I've been working together, and she had a belief about moving and living at home. Oh no, having a roommate, right? She cleared on the most ideal roommate, and she cleared on the most ideal house, and she found both in like a couple weeks, right, Jennifer? So I'm trying to think of everybody else's stories here. Dana had a cool thing happen too. You found a job really quickly. I can't remember everybody's story. Mailing has like amazing abundance story of like, oh yeah. So Mailing had a story that she couldn't manifest extra money because she had a full-time job working at a bank. And she's like, I'm on a salary, it's fixed. How am I going to make more money? Because she took one of my money manifesting courses. And she ended up manifesting a huge pay increase, like 12%, and a huge 5-figure bonus. And like a promotion, and now they're paying for her personal development stuff. So it's like, and that's not the only person who's manifested this. Jill's not here today. She had a belief she couldn't sell anything in the winter for her business. She ended up working with me, making 6 figures in the winter, like over $100,000, 150, when she used to not sell anything in the winter. And it's not really because of my magic. It's really because she changed her beliefs. Okay, you guys? Okay. So if you don't feel it, the trigger to free it, the chances of it happening again are 100%, right? Like the chances of Mei-Ling or Jennifer being right about their belief is 100%. Like you're going to be right about your beliefs, right? But why not be right about the good beliefs, like the positive ones, the ones you actually want to manifest? And I know I use a lot of negative and positive beliefs because all of, like you and I get what that is, but your brain actually does not really label things as positive or negatives. It will label it as, ooh, that hurt, ooh, that felt good, but it won't give it a judgment. So which is the part that's kind of dangerous because it doesn't know, like my brain didn't know that keeping the belief that men are cheaters was a good idea. It just did its job for me and kept it. Do you guys get me? Like your brain doesn't know that believing in, my family is stressful or my family coming over is stressful. Your brain doesn't know that it should hold on to that belief. It just does its job. Okay, you guys? I think we lost somebody, Jill. No, who else? Somebody must have left. Okay. All right. So, and this works for everybody, your boss, your sibling, everybody. Okay. So, all right, let me move on. So who else is better equipped to help you feel a strong recurring emotion than your one person, right? They're probably the one closest to you. Yeah? Okay, so all relationships improve exponentially the moment you stop thinking negative thoughts about them. Have you guys been able to see this slide? Sorry, I don't know, maybe not, sorry. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. And I think I made my point really clearly. But if you could know like the beliefs that you're trying to be right about and clear the feelings around it, do you think you could stop attracting that painful situation in your life? Mailing 22%. What's the 22% for? Oh, 22% pay increase out of 12. Okay, Jennifer, no problem. Yes, pay increase 22. Okay, so you get even more than I thought. Thank you, Millie. And did your ex ever pay all the money he owed you? Not yet. All right, you got to keep clearing on that. You probably have resistance. We're gonna want to clear on that. Okay. Did he pay some of it though? Yeah. If like I gave my sister some money, like 5 figures a couple years ago, and then she wasn't really paying me back. She was, yeah, not really. And then I cleared, why would I be opposed to her paying me back? And I had a lot of opposition, surprisingly. And then she ended up paying me back everything. So, and we had gotten a huge fight too. So it was like, I'm just realizing like the fact that I could not fight with money, like with my sister over money is huge for us. Like I just realized that. That's amazing. Okay. All right. So if the woman in my village changes her focus to men do support me and help me, do you think she would experience her son doing just that? Right? My son, he's so cute. He'll like broom the floor and like clean and do dishes, and he'll like help around the house too. It's awesome. Okay. All right, let me share with you some people who have had amazing experiences, because I want you guys to really, I really want this to anchor in your brain that you have the power to change that one relationship with this one person, okay? How do you guys all feel like you can now? Like it's really possible, or do you have negative beliefs that it's maybe not possible with your one person? Like Milling, your stepson, Jennifer left, Jean-Pierre with whoever, Dana with your mom, Liz with your ex. Do you guys believe like you really, really can? Awesome. So Jill is the one who also, she manifested her 6-figure business, and then she has other beliefs she's working through. I know she had a hard relationship with her ex. That's getting a lot better. I'll have to check in with her on that too. Parveen used to believe that nobody could buy her apartment. She was living in Paris, and it's like for 4 years, I don't know if it was 7 years, something crazy. She was not selling her flat. And it was 6 figures, like over 100,000 for this apartment. It was like a studio or something. And after like 2 months, I think, of clearing, she found a buyer and sold it. So yeah, you can ask her. Parveen's on all my calls. She's on social media. You can ask everyone who picture you see and name you see. You can actually go literally ask them on Facebook. Even Jackie, Miranda, Jill. So Jackie wrote, you can fix even what someone might think is unfixable. I had no doubt you could help me. I have been able to heal and improve my relationship with my middle child. I have learned how manifesting works, and I'm manifesting both financial wins and other stuff. Okay. Miranda had an amazing gain. She manifested a bill go down from 30,000 to 15,000 just by clearing on it. She also got pregnant with a baby girl right after we worked together, and she had a genetic thing where her sister and her have this genetic thing where they have to abort their children if they have it, and her daughter did not have this one particular gene. So she really had a manifesting baby, incredible story. And I love Jill's thing. She says, I feel like I receive much more from a single session than what I would have through months of counseling, because we go straight to the core, and you guys actually do it on yourself. It's like therapy, do it yourself, because you go into your own pain. Like I can't really be there when you guys are triggered, right? My recordings can, like all the audios can, but like I can't physically, be there when you guys are triggered. Okay. More testimonials. Oh, and Tracy's awesome. She had a block with business because she believed she wasn't creative. Her belief was I can't be creative. It was a belief her mother gave her. And after we cleared it, she was able to write her email sequence and launch her business really quickly. And same thing with Laura. She's been making a lot more money clearing on working for herself and traveling the world. She moved to Australia for like a few months with her family. And anyway. Okay, more beautiful testimonials. I think I overdid it. I love Bree though. Bree, she goes, before I started the session, I was asking for three main things: spiritual awakening, love match, and financial stability. 1 week into the course, I closed a job that had been on the negotiating table for 4 months. By the end of the course, I had 3 projects with MRB. 1 month into the course, I met the most amazing man in such a magical way. Claire also had a lot of things shift. And the key, you guys, is all of these people manifested change really quickly, okay? Remember, because the one person who's triggering you, they're triggering you to help you. So you're a fast manifester too, right, you guys? Do you guys know that? Like you can manifest like Brianna or Jill or Tracy or Joanna, Claire, you know, everybody. Milling. Dana also manifested really quick things. But like, if like Brianna doesn't clear her heart about men, right, and previous wounds, she'll get more proofs that she's right about men, right, when it comes to relationships. Or with me, men are, or with me, women are, right? You'll get more and more of the same. Okay, so how, I want to know, I'm feeling tired right now because I've been going all day and it's like 10 p.m. where I live. But are you guys feeling excited or are you feeling overwhelmed? Excited or overwhelmed? No, give me a 1. Dana's feeling very excited. Yeah, awesome. I know, like, honestly, you guys, when I discovered this work and I discovered kind of on my own, like I put some things together and I kind of like tested it on myself and my clients. I was like, I want, like, the only thing that I want to do all day is this stuff, because it's probably like what it feels like for a guy who loves cars to like get to build his own car or something. Like I get really excited about this. And this is how fast it works. So I was feeling really down like 3 days ago, right? Like really depressed. And I'm like, what is this feeling? Like I don't feel depressed usually. I cleared it. It had a message for me. So I got the message. And it was all about planning to have a really good vacation in July. It was really important to me that I have a good vacation in July. But here's the thing, you guys, like when we're so busy, we don't listen to our feelings and we miss the message, right? So I heard the message. I took the time away to do it. I went to this one little spa near my village and I just sat in it and meditated for like a few hours. And the next day I already have 3 weeks planned out for July, and I already have a trip to Corsica and a trip to Switzerland for 2 different things in July, within 2 days of me feeling this feeling through to completion and getting the message that I needed to plan a really fun month of July. And it just all manifested right away. And I think if I hadn't listened to the feeling and I hadn't cleared, I wouldn't have gotten the like that intuition to do it. So like pretty much what happened is people, like friends said, oh, we're going to go to Corsica. And I'm like, I'm coming, done. I booked the ticket. Oh, we're going to Switzerland to do this retreat. I'm coming. Like it was like this natural thing. Do you guys get me how it works? You feel your feelings, you get a message, and you keep going. Oh my God. Jean-Pierre is going to Switzerland and Corsica in July. That is hilarious. Jean-Pierre came to my house last year too. He came to Provence. Awesome. Because his wife, family lives down the street from me. Okay. So, okay, and I want to ask you guys, so most of you guys on the call already know me and have worked with me, but this is part of the slideshow. Can I spend like, actually it's more like 5 minutes going over my next new thing I'm doing to help you guys find your one belief that you're trying to be right about? Can I go over it super quick? Yes, no, we don't have to do it today. We can do it later, but I kind of want to run it by you guys because I'm going to get your feedback, hopefully. So give me a 44 if it's a yes, you want to hear about my special offer to help you with this, or, and Jean-Pierre just left. So I guess Jean-Pierre's not ready. Okay. Yes, Liz and Dina and Milling, can you hang out? Okay. Oh, 444, whatever. Okay. So if I believe something about someone or something, they're obligated to become that person. Okay. All right. Jean-Pierre came back. Jean-Pierre's in Africa, so I know he gets weird reception. So if I project it's going to be hard, they're going to be, right? If I project it's going to be difficult or they're going to be annoying, they're going to be that. Okay, I think I've drilled that in your brain, right? Like I've definitely gotten you to understand it. Okay, so my new thing I'm so super excited about it. It's called 30 Days to Love, and it's a 30-day program to like go into those subconscious beliefs and delete it for your one person and your one belief. So here it is. It's like a quick online member area, like learning center. It has videos, workbooks, and it's all done. It's all ready to go, and it's to help you clear on your one belief. I'm going to have support calls every week, but it's 3 weeks out of the month, so you get 1 week off with me live. We're going to be on Zoom just like this, but we're going to be really diving and clearing and doing all the energy work together. And you get a Facebook group. Does that sound like, how good does it sound out of 10, like right now? And it's okay if you're only feeling like a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10, but in your body, does that sound good or not yet? Okay, so that's what it looks like. Super clean, super like, because I know when we're triggered, you need things to be really clear. Like you can't be all over the place. So this is super short, super quick thing. So like week 1, you'll have watched the video, you have your printouts, you have your audios you can listen to on the go, and you have a quick checklist to make sure you got everything. And like there's a couple more videos for week 2, 3, and 4. They really get straight to the point. The exercises are transformative. I've had people go through this, like a lot of the testimonials you see, the tools they used are those exact tools. And what I'm really excited about is I'm gonna do this same 30 Days to Love for money and financial career kind of stuff in a couple of months. And it's just gonna be the same kind of thing, so you can change your beliefs about money as well if you need to. Okay, week 1, we just are gonna identify the biggest trigger and energy drainage. So we choose your one person to do the entire course on. If you're wondering who should I do it on, we'll help you decide it. Week 2, we really help you set up a winning routine for the course and remove blocks to creating an ideal life vision for you and this person. So we dive a little bit deeper into subconscious attachments and subconscious kind of blocks to love and to ease, okay? We go in to find out what's going on with you and them. Week 3 is I have you do like the daily feeling journals to hear the one belief you're seeking to be right about. That's sabotaging the relationship, right? And we're going to learn how to use it to create really amazing, nourishing vacations or whatever, relationships, ideal and results. Because you guys, I think it's not just about no longer feeling triggered or no longer feeling pain when it comes to this person. It's also about having it be nourishing, where you like are excited to see them, right? It's a positive thing. Week 4, we look at subconscious blocks to your ideal vision for love, and we clear up a lot of the self-saboteur. We do more like, to me, this person is, or I'm attached to this, to women being this way with me, or to men being this way with me. So we dive a lot more, and we really extract a lot of stuff out of your mental computer. I have lots and lots of bonuses to help you guys too, and I want to get your feedback on the bonuses. Okay, we're gonna look at. I'm gonna show you what they are. So this is the course without the bonuses, and the bonuses come anyway. But I'm really excited about them because let me go over this. So I feel like this kind of work like should be completely free, and it should be stuff we teach to kids, right? Like it shouldn't be something you have to pay for. But unfortunately, this stuff wasn't really taught to you guys or me, so we're gonna have to learn it now. Now, I want you guys to think about like what it costs you to be triggered by this person. Because like this, one of the women who took my survey, she said, if I wasn't so triggered and emotionally affected, I'd have more time to focus on income generating ideas. Like, you know, like if we're not all like spending so much time feeling triggered left and right, then we would actually be more like live the life we want to live, right? So if you have problems in your health, business, money, it's actually probably can be traced down to your problem you have in your relationship or in your personal life. Okay. All right. So the bonuses are all there to help you with like blocks to doing it. So like, what if you don't know how to do energy healing? Anyone here kind of feel like they may not know how to do it. Like, because a lot of energy healing is included. So what I decided to do is I'm going to put in my 12 Healing with Angels. It's a home study program so that you learn how to connect all day and you learn how to let energy go through you. And you can listen to this on the go, on your phone. You can even listen to it as you go to sleep. So how good does that sound if you had a block to energy healing and you knew that this came along with it? And that's not the actual price, by the way. This is just a value. Healing with Angels. And Hayden is still hanging out. You should be in bed, honey. Say that like a All right. A yay or a nay, give me like a 4 if you like this. To add it in to help you. Say I should be like Thanks, Liz. Okay. And I'm really excited about this. I'm going to do an extra 4 live calls to cut draining family cords. Anybody feel like they have draining family cords attached to them? I just discovered one the other day with someone that I'm like so glad I finally released because it was really draining me. Okay. So so those are not the actual prices. Those are just values, right? We're going to do 4 calls together live to teach you how to cut energy cords to really draining people. And, okay. Then you guys are going to feel like I'm getting too much. I might be getting too much. How to complete courses and have success with them. Do you guys ever sign up for stuff and you never do it? So that's actually because you have an actual resistance to what the course is going to do for you. So like if people sign up for how to make $10,000 in 30 days, right? But you don't actually want to make $10,000, you'll never do the course. So what I want to give you guys is a workshop. It's like an audio, it's the thing you do to get your brain on track with healing this relationship, right? And then if you feel like, well, anybody here feel like they don't feel their feelings? Like they don't know how to feel feelings? Like I have some clients who really have a hard time. So if you can't feel your feelings, you're not going to be able to clear your feeling, right? So if that's you, then I got you covered with that too. Like I'll give you the workshop that I teach people to feel their feelings, because all it is just a program that you have to delete. Like feeling my feelings isn't safe, showing my feelings isn't safe. So we go into that. Anybody feel good about that? Like anyone feel like that's what they need? Any of those like that you could need to help you with it? And hopefully no one needs these extra bonuses, right? Because then it's like you can dive right into the course, but I just wanted to add those in case it will go with it. Then if you feel a lot of resistance, like if you feel like you really resist this person, then I'll show you how to not have resistance, because resistance is one of the biggest energy drains besides cords. Resistance, it's like you're constantly energetically fighting with their energy. So that we want to definitely clear out. And then if you feel like I'm not really connected to a higher power, I don't really trust in the universe supporting me or loving me, then I have a kit to clear that up too. Okay, so the total value for everything in the members area to do the live calls, to do the cord cutting is like, if you were to buy each of those things individually, it will come up to that price. By the way, you guys, I'm having so much fun. Thank you for letting me do this. This is really awesome. So we're like so done. We have 2 slides left, I promise. So how long do you have left on this planet, you guys? We obviously don't know that, but hopefully you're here for a really long time. But however long you have left on this planet, do you want to live it feeling hurt, blocking the flow of life, like triggered, stuck in painful, recurring drama? Or would you rather be free from it all, right? Having deeply nourishing, meaningful relationships. So if like all you had to do was spend 20 minutes a day on this, like let's say you're like, but I don't have enough time for this. All you need is 20 minutes, not even every day. It could be every other day. Like, would you want to spend that time doing this? Like maybe your opposition to doing this isn't a money thing. Maybe you don't care about how much the program costs. Maybe what you care about is like, how am I going to find time to do this, right? Anybody kind of thinking that? Like those are the 2 blocks, money or time, right? I'm not gonna have time, I'm not gonna have money. Okay. How's everybody doing? We're going to do Q&A at the end if you guys want to stay and ask me some questions. So the actual price for everything, for the 3 months of support calls and everything, is only what is that? $19.97? Is that how you say it? That was so $2,000 pretty much, right? $19.97. To get the masterclass, you get to keep forever. You get to come on the calls. You get the Facebook group. You get the cutting the cords masterclass. That's 4 different calls. You get everything else. You get to keep forever. Okay, does that sound good, you guys? Does it sound like a fair price? Yes, no? Anybody like excited about this? Anybody not excited? So I was thinking about this, and I know there isn't a whole lot of people, and you guys do not have to do this, by the way. It's just what I'm doing next. I was thinking I want to do this as an ongoing thing all year, where we check in on the phone and we have these live calls. Some of you guys have been in my money masterclass, and it's been so fun because we do 3 calls a month and they're super powerful. And now instead of doing that, we're just going to do those calls, but on like either 30 days to love, or we'll do them on 30 days to abundance, career, money stuff. And what you do is the first 10 people who sign up for this, you guys will get the whole year pretty much. So the 3 months plus the 9 months of support live calls with me, and you don't have to pay anything else extra, and you'll get my next 30-day course on abundance and money. And it will be very similar to what am I thinking? What's my one belief about money that's blocking flow? What's my one belief about myself and my career that's blocking me? Okay, anybody feeling excited, interested? Can you give me like a yes or a no? If this speaks to you, if you're excited as much as I am to do this. Even though I am going on vacation in July. And my son, I think, decided to make some noise with the water. Okay, Dana says it sounds great, but I feel like I'll never have the money for it. So what's your thoughts, right? Because if you're thinking you'll never have the money for it, then obviously you're saying I won't, but you can turn it around. So, and there's a payment plan, you guys. So if you pay in full, and you pay in full as one of the first 10 people, then you also get the 9 extra months. You also, I'm going to throw in a 45-minute private energy healing session. Those are worth an extra like $500 pretty much, because I don't actually sell individual sessions, you guys. So you would get an extra one for free. And you do nothing. It can be something you renew once a year if you want to stay in next year and keep working these. Most people that work with me, they stay with me for years. Okay, mailing sounds good. They stay with me for years because their life keeps getting better. So they're like, I want to keep going. The other payment plan is you pay $499.75 for 4 months broken up, and there are no extra finance charge. Some people will charge you an extra 20%. I just pretty much took $19.97 and divided by 4, and that's what I got. Okay. Now, if you're like, I can't pay that much, we can always work it around 6 months. We'll have to talk and figure it out. I'll come back.